In one single morning, God destroyed the most ambitious construction project in human history. They spoke one language, one goal: build a tower to heaven itself, to make a name for themselves. They were unstoppable, or so they thought. But someone was watching. Genesis 11 says God confused their language. But here's what nobody talks about. We're building our own towers today. Career towers, social media towers, towers of self. Everyone who exalts himself will be humiliated, but whoever humbles himself will be exalted. Stay watching to discover the 3 ways you might be building your own Babel and how to avoid the same judgment.
After the great flood, Noah and his family stepped out from the ark. The earth had been washed clean, rivers sparkled, trees stretched skyward, and the air was filled with the scent of new life. Every hill, valley, and plain seemed to whisper the promise of a fresh beginning. From Noah's 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth, and their wives, all nations would one day arise. Children laughed and ran through the fields. Families multiplied, and new generations learned to walk, to speak, to dream. Jehovah looked upon the earth with love. He remembered his promise. Never again would he destroy the world with a flood. The rainbow arched across the sky, a covenant of mercy, a pledge that his love endured. Even in this world made new, Jehovah had a plan for humanity, a divine command that would shape the future of the earth. Genesis 9:1 states, God went on to bless Noah and his sons, and to say to them, be fruitful and become many, and fill the earth. Fill the earth, not just the fertile valleys, nor only the riverbanks. They were to spread to mountains, deserts, forests, and plains. This was no suggestion, it was a sacred mandate. Yet knowing God's command and obeying it are 2 very different things. The human heart, even in this new world, would soon reveal its inclinations. Genesis 11:1-2 records, now all the earth had one language and one set of words. As men traveled from the east, they discovered a valley plain in the land of Shinar, and they began dwelling there. One language, every man, woman, and child understanding each other perfectly. Mothers called to their children and were immediately answered. Builders communicated without confusion. Stories told around fires sparked laughter and awe that all could share. They settled in Shinar. The land was fertile. Streams fed the plains. The air was warm, and the sun bathed the valley in gold. Here, they thought, we have all we need. Why venture further? Communities were established, homes built, crops planted, and slowly, they began to forget God's command to spread out across the earth. Time passed. Pride grew. Small at first. Look at what we have accomplished, whispered one. Imagine what we could build together, said another. These whispers became conversations, and conversations became plans. Grand plans that would shape history. Genesis 11:3-4. Come, let us make bricks and bake them with fire. Let us build a city for ourselves, and a tower with its top in the heavens. And let us make a name for ourselves, so that we will not be scattered over the entire face of the earth. Their creativity was remarkable. Bricks fired in kilns, bitumen for mortar stronger and more uniform than stone and mud. Yet their purpose was flawed, for themselves rather than for God. A tower to the heavens to rival the divine. A name for themselves to secure fame and legacy. Even as they planned, elders shook their heads. Builders debated design, height, and grandeur. Children ran under scaffolds, marveling at the shadow stretching across the valley. They were united, speaking one language, sharing understanding, but this unity was turning into rebellion. Their ambition was becoming defiance against God's command to fill the earth. Brick by brick, level by level, the tower grew. Shadows stretched over the valley. Pride grew alongside height. Workers shouted, foremen directed. Mortar was spread. Ropes groaned under the weight of stones. Children pointed to the sky. Young couples stood at the base, and elders reflected quietly. The tower symbolized human ingenuity, but also human pride. Even in this world made new, humanity was already tested. Gifts of creativity, intelligence, and unity meant to serve God's plan were being used for self-glory. Pride begins as a whisper. It grows, spreads, and becomes rebellion. Unity, meant for obedience, can be misused. The story of Babel reminds us that talents and gifts God gives are not for self-promotion, they are for Him. Genesis 11:5-6 tells us, "Then Jehovah went down to see the city and the tower that the men were building. Look, they are one people with one language, and this is what they have started to do. Now there is nothing that they may have in mind to do that will be impossible for them," Jehovah observed. He saw ingenuity, strength, and coordination, but also pride and rebellion. Left unchecked, ambition would escalate. Something had to change, not out of anger, but out of love. Genesis 11:7 says, "Come, let us go down there and confuse their language in order that they may not understand one another's language." Morning came. Workers greeted each other, but words emerged foreign and strange. Instructions failed. Bricks tumbled. Arguments erupted. Chaos replaced coordination. Genesis 11:8 states, "So Jehovah scattered them from there over the entire face of the earth, and they gradually left off building the city. The tower stood unfinished. Families, unable to communicate, moved apart. Humanity was scattered. Groups formed by language. And in scattering, God's original command to fill the earth was fulfilled." Genesis 11:9 concludes, "That is why it was named Babel, because there Jehovah confused the language of all the earth, and Jehovah scattered them from there over all the surface of the earth." Babel confusion, pride humbled, unity misused, ambition redirected by God. The unfinished tower became a symbol of human folly, the attempt to exalt oneself above God, the cost of misusing gifts and unity, the consequences of disobedience. Luke 18:14 teaches, "Everyone who exalts himself will be humiliated, but whoever humbles himself will be exalted." Babel's lesson is timeless. Pride leads to humiliation. Humility leads to exaltation. True greatness comes not from monuments, fame, or self-glory, but from obedience and devotion to God. Our gifts, intelligence, creativity, teamwork are from God and must honor Him. Pride and the desire for self-glory are as dangerous now as in Babel. God's plans cannot be thwarted. Obedience brings blessing. Resistance brings correction. True honor comes from humility. The unfinished tower stands as a warning. Don't build monuments to yourself. Seek God's glory. Use His gifts to obey Him, not to defy Him. Even humbled and scattered, Jehovah did not abandon humanity. His love endured. His plan continued. The question echoes through the ages. Will we choose humility and obedience, or pride and rebellion? Luke 18:14 reminds us, "Everyone who exalts himself will be humiliated, but whoever humbles himself will be exalted."